Hi, I'm Melissa Mattinzi, and welcome to the Plymouth School Committee candidate interview. I want to take a moment to thank our candidate for participating in this interview and collaborating with PAC TV to bring this informational programming to residents and voters this election season. So let me explain the format. Today, Katherine Jackson will be interviewed. Kathy will have 2 minutes to introduce herself and talk about her background, qualifications, and why she's running for office. I'll then ask a series of questions related to local issues. Kathy will be hearing the questions for the first time during this forum. She'll have 2 minutes to answer the questions. After the questions, she'll have 2 minutes for her closing remarks. The 2-minute time frame will be shown on the screen for her to see. So let's get started. Kathy, we're ready for your opening statement, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you to PAC TV for offering this opportunity. Having grown up in Plymouth, I'm happy to be raising my 9-year-old daughter here who is attending Plymouth Public Schools. I'm running for school committee because I care about this town and the people in it. I want to support the public education that benefits us all. Starting my own photography business following a long career in finance has taught me tenacity, as well as having required me to be organized and determined. I'm driven to apply these skills to help the town of Plymouth. Throughout the years, I have been involved in the Rotary Club, Big Brother, Big Sister at Nathaniel Morton, and the Plymouth Family Network PTAs. I'm also an active member of the No Place for Hate Committee and the Land Use and Acquisition Committee. I don't have to remind anyone of how many changes and trauma have happened over the last year. The two biggest challenges we face going forward are the social, emotional health of our students and staff, as well as helping to close the gap in learning that has only been made wider by this year. The teachers and staff have done a phenomenal job helping our students to move forward and remain resilient over the past year, but we have much work ahead. I have taken many different roles, both philanthropic and business-minded, that qualify me to bring my all to the school committee as a member. The most important role to me is that of a mother of a student in the schools. I am your representative. I will approach this role with an open mind, the ability to work together to support the education of our students and the livelihood of our teachers. I'm here to listen to you and represent you in a meaningful way.
Thank you, Kathy, for your opening statement. And now we're going to move to our first question. Given what we've learned and experienced over the past year, what, if anything, would you have done differently in relation to the schools? You have 2 minutes.
I want to say first that I think the schools have done a phenomenal job. It's been a big challenge to know what the right decision is, and there really is no right decision for any one student. If I was going to do things differently, I think there probably could have been more things in place early on to give a little bit more transparency to what people were stepping into at the beginning of the year so that they could make a more educated choice. But then going forward, I think the school committee tried to do everything that they could, as well as the staff, to keep our children safe and to keep things moving forward. I also think with relation to the middle school and the high school, that was a very difficult decision to say when exactly to go back. And I think having more information is always a good thing when it comes to that. I probably would have given the teachers a little bit more time to be vaccinated, but I also understand the need to get students back in school and the social and emotional impact that it takes on students to be home. My own daughter was in remote schooling for a while, and I know that affected her anxiety, and that being back in school was helpful. So I can respect that it's never an easy choice to do what's right for every single person in a school district.
Great. Thank you for your response. We're going to move on to question number 2. What is the one thing you think that residents should understand about managing the school budget? And you have 2 minutes.
I think the biggest thing to understand is that different people have different views on what's important and what's needed in the school. And the great thing about living in a town that's so big with so many different views is that we can come together as a group and collaborate on that. and everybody's always going to have their things with, this school doesn't have the right this school needs work, this program needs funding. And I think those are all important things to consider, but we have one budget that needs to address all of that. And there's always some concession that's going to be made. I am hopeful that the next year we will be able to move forward with Biden just giving an infusion of money to the schools to help us get beyond this pandemic, that there will be less to consider for certain things and more moving forward. And I'm hoping that when it comes to the budget, we can start to be able to widen things like the tech program and things like that, that are there are waiting lists for and people are really interested in, but we can't accommodate everybody. So there's no easy answer when it comes to a budget. It's all about working together and having different views come together.
Great, thank you. And now we're going to move on to our last question, question number 3. In your opinion, do Plymouth schools have a problem when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and equity? And what could our schools do to improve the outcomes in those areas? And you have 2 minutes.
I do think that we do have a problem when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and equity. I do think that we've started the process. We've included a lot in our strategic plan, and the doors have been open and things have started moving forward with some of that. I would like to see more diversity among our teachers and our administration. And I would like to see resources to help students who fit non-traditional roles. And I know we've started that too. School provides so much more than education to kids. And when you have so many hurdles at home that help you or hurt you, it's hard to get beyond that. And we need to find a way to help students so that they can just focus on their education. And whether it's right or wrong that schools provide that, they do. Having resources like a resource manager at their disposal that can help them with their social emotional or their home situation or their homelessness so that they can just focus on what they need would start to get towards equity. Diversity, definitely. I would like to see more people represented. When you see yourself represented in a positive role or a role of authority, it helps you to look forward and it helps you to see greater things for yourself. And so I think that's really important for our students of color or our students from immigrant backgrounds, of which we have a huge population right now, to see themselves represented in the people that are with us every day.
Great. Thank you for your response, Kathy. And now we're going to move on to closing remarks. And you will have 2 minutes for your closing remarks.
Thank you to PAC TV for this opportunity here today, and thank you to the viewers for taking the time to listen to the candidates. If elected as your representative for school committee, I bring the drive and determination to this role that I have brought to other roles I've taken on. I care about this town and the people in it. I want to help our children and our teachers recover and excel past the hurdles that have been thrown at us. I believe in supporting the social emotional health of our students and staff. I believe in working hard to close the education gap that has only been made wider by the last year. I believe in making opportunities for schools to be equitable for all students. I support the schools and the phenomenal work they have done in a difficult time, and I want to keep that moving forward. I love this town and believe in our schools. There is much work to be done, and I believe we have a good plan in place to do just that. I'm here to represent you. I will listen with an open mind and collaborate with others to make sure we are finding the best ways to support and represent our children, families, and staff in the best possible ways. Vote for me, Katherine Jackson, on May 15th. It would be an honor to represent this community as a member of the school committee.
Thank you, Kathy, for participating in this interview. And we wish you the best of luck throughout your campaign and into the election. And for our viewers, thank you for joining us. If you're interested in watching replays of this interview, please visit our website, packtv.org/elections for replay times and online viewing options, including PAC TV's on-demand and streaming service, PAC TV Prime. And please, make your choices heard by voting in the election on Saturday, May 15th. Thank you and good day.